In the bustling heart of Makonda Market, where traders' voices mingled with the clatter of carts and the scent of spices hung thick in the air, a small boy named Eli wandered daily beside his mother. They were poor, surviving on the meager sales of roasted groundnuts and boiled maize. Eli was only 10, quiet and thoughtful, his eyes holding a depth beyond his years. Though he spoke little, he had a strange calmness that unsettled some and comforted others. At the far corner of the market, where shadows clung to crumbling walls, lived a madman everyone avoided. He wore rags, his hair matted, and his words a jumble of laughter and rage. Children called him Baba Roko. He had lived in that state for 25 years, screaming at the wind, chasing birds, eating scraps. Some said he was cursed. Others claimed he had once been a powerful man destroyed by dark secrets. One sweltering afternoon, as traders packed up their goods and mothers called for their children, Eli stopped in front of Baba Roko. The madman was dancing in circles, muttering something about the gates of gold and a knife in the banquet hall. Eli stared at him, unmoving. Then, quietly, Eli walked up, placed his hand gently on the man's shoulder, and whispered, "Peace, be still." Time seemed to stop. Baba Roko froze, his body trembling. His wild eyes locked with Eli's, and then, with a long exhale that sounded like the wind through dry leaves, he fell to his knees. The market held its breath. Murmurs spread. Traders gathered. The madman began to weep, loud, wrenching sobs, as if something ancient had broken free. "I remember," he gasped. "My name is Daniel Obeid. I was betrayed." As the crowd grew, the story came pouring out. 25 years ago, Daniel had been one of the richest men in the nation, an oil magnate with estates and influence. But his closest friends, hungry for his wealth, had conspired against him. They drugged him during a business retreat, faked a mental breakdown, and left him in the slums. No one questioned it. His assets were quietly absorbed, and his existence faded into the dust of madness. But now, because of Eli, the madness had lifted. Daniel, still dazed but lucid, demanded to see his lawyers. Within weeks, the truth emerged. Records were unearthed. Names were exposed. The conspirators were arrested, and Daniel reclaimed his empire. Yet, he did not return to the life he once lived. His heart had changed. He found Eli and his mother in their small rented room and fell to his knees before them. "You gave me back my life," he said through tears. "From this day, you will never lack." True to his word, Daniel moved them into a beautiful home, provided the best education for Eli, and supported the boy's mother as if she were his own sister. But more than wealth, he gave Eli access to a world of knowledge, mentors, and time to grow into the gift that had always been in him. As Eli grew, so did his presence. He began to speak in gatherings, quietly at first, then with authority. His words pierced hearts, stirred governments, and healed broken people. Miracles began to follow him. Blind eyes opened, shattered families reconciled, nations knelt in prayer. By the time he turned 30, Eli was no longer just a boy from Makondu. He had become a prophet to the world, speaking in stadiums, healing the wounded, and preaching unity and truth. He never sought fame, but it followed him like a shadow. And beside him, always watching proudly from the front row, sat his mother, and Daniel Obeid, the once forgotten billionaire, now his greatest supporter and friend. In every city he visited, Eli told the story of a madman who was healed, and a boy who simply listened to a voice greater than his own. And the world listened too.